Hello, Shadow Airites, and welcome to the Woven Games weekly Twitch stream. This is your host, the esteemed Master of Lore, Nacho Ches, aka Kevin. The friendliest trash talker of all time, Majumbo, aka Trevor.
Yo, yo, yo.
The monocle-wearing Master of Design, Sootslayer, aka Lewis.
How you do, guys?
And our special guests this week are the design team overlord himself, Gundorian, aka GDC.
Hello.
And the banhammer-wielding defender of Midgard, Dimchi, aka Triton.
Hello.
Guys, we have some killer announcements for you today, and potentially the best spoilers for Shattered Fates that you could have asked for. Plus, live coverage of the wildcard event starting at 6 p.m. GMT, so we're going to try and keep this episode rather tight on time. Thus, the lack of viewer questions again this week. They will be coming back, we promise. We're just trying to trim for time. With that in mind, let's do a terrible segue into the next section. I believe just yesterday, our balance master, Trevor, put up a nice big post about the World Championship format and prizes. Trevor, do you want to kind of walk us through that?
This is true. It definitely did happen. So, as you can see here, we have our epic Grand Finals prize structure announced. First and foremost, we have the currently qualified players. You can see we got the likes of Eclipse, Henson, Monomax, Jackie, Busty, Raphael Majir, all those good players, you know, and love, and also their accolades, what they won to get that spot. We have 4 more spots still up for grabs, including the winner of the Season 7 Quick Match, the winner of the Season 8 Quick Match Playoffs, the winner of the Wild Card event, as well as the winner of the Last Chance Qualifier. Currently, we're actually running the Wild Card event while this stream happens. Now, the good stuff, the prizes. We have the prize structures announced. All 16 invitees get digital sleeves exclusive to the World Championships Grand Finals and 10,000 Shadow Crystals. So right off the bat, you're in the World Championships, you get some good payout. 4 random participants get a physical playmat. We're giving out 1 of each of the playmats, so that's kind of epic. You're going to get like a playmat delivered to your doorstep if you win that. Day 1 is our first event. It's a 16-man double elimination event with decklock, no sideboards. Best of 3 with a best of 5 final. And the top 4 of this get digital foils. The top 2 win 100 store credit. And the winner makes it to the epic best of 7 face-off. Day 2 is pretty much the same prize structure. The only difference is that this is a sideboarded tournament, meaning you get a 10-card sideboard that you can swap out cards from your main deck for games 2 and 3 of your best of 3 set, as well as games 4 and 5 in the best of 5 final, assuming it goes on that long. Again, the winner of that Day 2 event also makes it to the best of 7 playoff, where those two then clash heads, get automatic $100 of store credit, and the winner walks away with an epic iPad Air. Woo, prizes. That about does it for the prizes wrap-up.
Yeah, I believe it's actually the most robust prize support we've offered for a World Championship event to date.
I like to think it's epic prize pool, you know?
Well, one of the things I'd just like to touch on real quick is you mentioned exclusive World Championship digital sleeves.
Indeed.
We know in the past that we haven't really done many with exclusive sleeves, so to me at least, having a set of exclusive sleeves in and of itself is kind of impressive.
I think so. It's damn cool, if you ask me.
Having a set that is exclusive to only World Champion. Now, I want to note that every World Championship player between now and future World Championships will also be able to get these sleeves. But only people who participate at that level of competition are going to be able to put these in their decks.
Yes. So basically, it's the way it works is you have to be a grand finalist to get it, but you can be a grand finalist in future years and still get it.
Wait a sec. Does this open the door for exclusive design team sleeves now?
I hope so. I got
we tried in the past.
On that. I want
Kyle
it.
said because only a few people would have them. Having them download to everybody's client just in case they face us.
I don't think we're considered as important to the game as the competitors who make it at this level. So I don't think he's going to give us sleeves.
Well,
right, I'm
sleeves now.
this chat,
now that Conjuring brought it up, I want my sleeves.
I don't know, I mean, I think the sleeves are a big thing. I mean, they're a big mark of pride where you can take your account into Quick Match, into any event, and have a badge of pride that shows people immediately before they even make a single play that you are a player who plays at that level. I mean, it's very intimidating. I mean, I know we don't even get the World Championship sleeves. I mean, that's definitely something that's hyper exclusive.
I'll take part in the last chance qualifier on Friday. I'll win that. Get them sleeves.
But instead of winning the grand final sleeves, you'll get the design team sleeves.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, those are great prizes.
So on top, speaking of great prizes, see, don't always do terrible segues. The season 8 prizes were actually announced. So we actually can see now what you get for actually being a top place contender in the quick match ratings.
Again, those are some pretty ballin' prizes. I love 10,000 for first place. That's so cool.
It is so many shadow crystals.
And you get foil legendaries too. Like, yes, please.
Well, see, what's kind of hilarious about this is we've seen guides in the past on $19.99, $20 you toss in, ways to be just a really top tier competitive player. So it's completely possible for someone who's put in very little money into the game to get up to the top, get those prizes, and then just burst out on the cards and have as much as someone who's really, really put a lot of money into the game.
It's true.
It's great, and
Absolutely,
it will save me lots of crystals. Usually I'm giving them out, so this is great. I'm running low.
Well, I mean,
Savings
it's always
are
good. Well, it's always good. We can have a player who started with a bare bones account, maybe didn't even put any money into the game at all, but through sheer skill and wit and talent, and they've worked their way up to the higher ranks, and now they're able to get rewarded from that. Rewarded for that with just these insane prizes.
Alrighty. And that moves us into talking about really quickly the fanfiction competition. So far, I have 3 entries to review. I'd like a little bit more than that, something to read over my evening cup of tea. So, come on, guys, if you're writing the fanfiction, let's start getting them in.
When's the closing date?
The closing date is November 30th.
I believe I've lent in my monocle for his
good
cup of tea
stuff.
reading.
Remember,
I still have time. I can get them in.
the
2 more weeks.
30th of November.
It's 2 weeks. Everyone's been focusing on getting ready for the World Championships, I think.
Also, speaking of things that we've been have going on, we are currently in the middle, actually closer to the beginning, of our Shattered Fates Kickstarter. For those of you who have been living under a rock, we are doing a full-fledged digital Kickstarter for the Shattered Fates expansion. In addition to the expansion, we are including
Way at the bottom.
Oh.
Just a troll, Kevin. He has to keep going down.
I lost the feature list. I am a terrible host.
You. Using
There it is. We are introducing the all-new campaign mode, something I'm really excited for. New 3D battlefields, a whole new tournament system, in-game player auctions, a drastically improved deck builder, player profiles, and actual integration for guilds and leagues inside the game. Basically, we're going to completely overhaul the entire game, and how much is also going to depend on some of the stretch goals. Already we see we've got 2 stretch goals announced. The first is an entire new soundtrack. We're going to put new songs into the game so that the same couple of ones aren't always in the background. You can get a little bit more music going. Me, as a music lover, I think that's kind of a fantastic thing. And the second stretch goal is going to be alternate artwork. The fans will actually get a chance to give us a say in putting 20 special alternate art versions into the game.
I'm a fan of alternate art myself. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, I'm looking for alternate art Jasmine from another angle.
I have a feeling that one's just a sealed, done deal. Jasmine is one of the 20 cards that's going to get alternate arted.
I have a feeling. That's a fair bet.
Yeah. Either that, or we get an alternate art Moonstalker where he's sitting in his rocking chair, growing a beard.
I want to see a Moonstalker that's just sitting in like the flannel dress knitting.
Yes, knitting in his rocking chair.
Knit Stalker?
Waiting.
Knit Stalker, there we go.
Knit Stalker. It's gotta happen. Gotta happen.
So if anyone is curious about how likely we are to hit our Kickstarter goal, we're already fairly close. We're already pretty high. We broke 20% of our goal on our first day. So I want to take a special moment just to thank everyone who's pitched in so far and let you guys know the prizes on this are just stellar. Please do not be afraid to contribute. It looks like we're going to clear that goal rather easily and get those stretch goals and just give you guys more and more value for your money. Again, though, this is for the digital product. There is no physical product tied to it. And that brings us to, lost my guide there. So one of the things you guys may have noticed is that we're taking shorter Twitch streams during the events and during our actual stream. We are working very hard to keep the times a little bit shorter. One of the things you guys have been asking for since day one of the Twitch is the ability to watch these streams on your mobile devices. And we do understand that mobile is an important factor for Shadowware. It's a majority of our players play on some kind of mobile device. So with that in mind, we are going to begin migrating our Twitch stream recordings over to our YouTube channel. So expect a bigger announcement, a little more information on how that's going to go down over the next couple of weeks. But we are keeping this stream shorter, specifically to migrate to YouTube easier for you guys. Now, as was mentioned earlier in the stream, we have a wildcard event that is currently going on in the background.
We do.
So, since I'm all cool and all and have it prepped, Trevor, would you like to walk us through how the wildcard is working out rules-wise?
Sure. So, the wildcard event we got going on right now is basically a 128-man maximum pop-up event. It turns out we got 64, so it's like a 64-man bracket. But it's a best-of-3, single elimination, no sideboards with decklock, with a best-of-5 finals.
And I believe there was a bug that's been corrected in regards to this event?
Yes, and you can see the big fancy red there. The Evil Senate bug was fixed in time for this event, so as it stated, when the bug was fixed, that ban was lifted.
So the bug has finally been fixed. That is fantastic news.
Yes, but I should also mention that we do have a new bug that's affecting some players right now. It's associated with Shriek of Vengeance. Currently, when you use Shriek of Vengeance right now, it is killing an unspent resource. So it's essentially like paying 2 resources for a Shriek right now. That bug is going to get fixed ASAP, though. Something to know in your quick match games.
Indeed. So essentially what happened with the Shriek of Vengeance, and Trevor, please feel free to step in and correct me if I'm incorrect, is originally there was no set standard for how resources were spent during your turn, and so the resource that was spent and the one Shriek destroyed just happened to have come out the same. During recently, we've been working on cleaning up the client, getting things working in actual resolution order, and as such, Shriek kind of had an unintended behavior. We're calling it a bug so that we can fix it clearly, but currently it is just an unintended behavior.
That is true. Really what it's doing is, the description is sort of like, it takes it from the top, but spends from the bottom, so your bottom resource gets spent, and then your top resource is getting taken. And obviously we don't quite like that, because then people feel like they're double paying for it. So we're going to fix that up. We're going to make it so that it spends and takes from the same spot.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I guess the easiest way to dodge the issue then would be to do whatever you're going to do before the Shriek of Vengeance, and then just Shriek as the last card.
It is possible to play around it. It's a turn order thing. So usually people like to Shriek first, ally later, let's say. So now you're like ally first, Shriek after, so you don't get hit by it.
And Lewis, I believe you were trying to get a word in edgewise?
No, just saying that it's one of those things that we never really explained in detail in which order resources are spent. So in the cleaning up and managing the code and improving the game overall is something that kind of came up as an issue that was unintended. So now we're just cleaning up and making sure it's working as intended.
Yeah.
So it led to this unintentional consequence for you guys.
Basically, it snuck up on us. And now we're gonna kill it. We're gonna squash it. Be like, don't behave that way, bad. And it's gonna be like, okay, I'm sorry.
Alrighty.
Don't tase me, bro.
So, I think that brings us right into where everybody wants us to be right now. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, we've moved through the beginning sections pretty quick to get to the spoilers. One of the reasons we moved so quickly to get to the spoilers is because these are huge. Over the course of the past few weeks, some of you may have heard us refer to Shattered Fates and the Kickstarter as Shadow Era 3.0. Well, today's spoilers, I personally believe, and I can't speak for everyone else on the stream with me today, but I think that these spoilers really show off why we keep saying that and why we feel that way.
Woo! Hooray!
In fact, I believe that there was actually a discussion at one point, Lewis, about there might be a little bit too much new going on in the set.
Well, heavy-handed segue, go.
I told you guys earlier in the stream, my segues today are terrible.
No, no worries. No, basically, what Kevin's getting at is that when we were looking at the set conceptually in the earlier phases, is we were certain things we knew we wanted to have in the set, and a certain overarching theme we wanted to have in the set. And as we were adding some of the mechanics, some of the interactions to the set, it became very apparent that the interactions were very intricate and something that we hadn't really done in the game to date. You know, a lot of the tribal interactions, a lot of the intentional and really deck-enhancing interactions. And as we're adding the mechanics too, it made the set feel very, very new and like it was adding a lot to the game. And we were just so concerned it was going to be overwhelming for players to come across so much new and interesting things that you can do in one set. That being said, it was so new and interesting and so awesome, we couldn't really hold it back from you guys. We just couldn't wait to, you know, incorporate it into the set as it fit thematically and the mechanics fit with with the story, what was going on in the world, and we're just kind of proud of how it all worked together.
So, kind of leading in from that, one of the things that really makes these spoilers today awesome is we're revealing not one, but two new mechanics in the game with these spoilers. So with that, I think we should just hop in and get them showing.
Yeah, it's spoiler time.
Our first card this week is Aldmore Accelerator. Aldmore Accelerator is a 4-cost neutral item artifact that has 3 durability. Now that was the first of the 2 new mechanics we're revealing today. Artifacts that possess durability. Now, that doesn't mean that they wear out from getting damage taken or that they wear out from other things. Like weapons and armor, they wear out through usage. Artifacts with durability typically will utilize durability as an activation cost, which is our second new feature that we're showing off today. So, essentially, for 0 cost, 3 times, you can activate this card's effect, after which it will be destroyed. Trevor, as our balance guy, what would you say this really unlocks for us balance-wise in terms of artifacts and such?
Well, in terms of artifacts, this casting cost is durability gives you the ability to make a repeatable effect that doesn't last forever. It's not a support ability, so it doesn't use the duration tag. You can pick and choose when exactly you want to activate it, so it fits your schedule the best. And it kind of lets you make a powerful effect, such as this one, but only making it 3 times. Like, imagine if this card had, like, unlimited durability every turn, you could just keep zapping yourself and get shot energy. That'd probably be pretty powerful. So, you know, you give it 3. You can only do it 3 times. And that kind of keeps it fair. At this point, it's no longer giving anything more than a Shadow Font would, right? This is like a Shadow Font over 3 turns, where Shadow Font gives you all once. If this didn't have durability, it would be way more than Shadow Font ever gives you.
Well, from a design perspective, you know, one of the things that I really liked about this card in the early phases and in testing is that it does open up new design avenues to have more intricate type of interactions with artifacts where you don't have to worry about your resource count to activate them as much, and you can trigger them only when it's really beneficial to you, or you can kind of let them sit there and soak up item destruction from your opponent if the card is valuable enough to soak up an item destruction. So it really opens up this design scheme for how you can add effects to the game and let people theme their decks with these different type of effects. And
What I really like about this card is how it links in with the Oldmore Conduit. We don't know a lot about the Oldmore yet. So we've got a card, the Oldmore Conduit, where you spend shadow energy to draw a card. And we've got this one, another artifact from the Oldmore, where you can take damage to get shadow energy, which you could then use with a conduit to draw a card. So it all links together. And we haven't read out the flavor text yet, have we?
The flavor text on this one is the Aldmore had discovered the true price of power.
The true price of power? It's 1 health.
yep,
One health
that
for
is
1
funny.
energy. Technically, it's like 3 health total.
Yeah, because the power
And
is the
do
shadow
this to,
energy, and damage is the price.
You can give shadow energy to somebody else as well. So cards like interference, you could ping them for 1, and then pinch their shadow energy. There's so many
That's
things
true.
going on with
That's
this.
an intricate little design we put in there. We intentionally made it so you can zap enemy heroes. If you feel their ability won't hurt you, go ahead and shoot them with this thing. Be like,
Yeah.
take power, take it, feel the price.
That's one of the fun things that. No, continue, GDC.
There's a philosophical issue as well that's gone on since the start with humans not being able to gain shadow energy, apart from priests got a little way to do that in Dark Prophecies with forgiveness. So they can now gain some shadow energy, but not through one of their own artifacts, through an Oldmore one, which is available to everybody. That's a way to get around the fact that humans shouldn't really be gaining. So I like how that's worked out. I'm pleased with that.
Personally, I think a lot of the heroes with the higher end costs, like Nishaven, for instance, I've had a lot of fun with him in this card because it allows me to use his ability more than just once a game or twice in a super long game.
Yeah.
I believe Trevor's been on the receiving end of my
Yeah.
Aldmore abuse deck, where I've been
Yes, I
able
have.
to pump my ability. What was it that one game? 5 times with my ability?
It was something crazy like that. Every turn you were just, I was like, okay, he can't get me, can't bend, and he's just like zap, zap, zap. I'm like, whoa, what? And then it blows me up.
Well, I mean, there are fun like interactions that you can use with this. Like you can use Almor Accelerator and Twice Enchanted Robes to kind of ping yourself and draw a card and gain the strategy. It's like little stuff like that. I'm particularly proud of that one. I thought that was clever at the time.
Honestly, I like this with Victor. I think Victor and this card go well together because Victor has a really cool ability that you just want to use that as much times as you can. And here you go.
Well, I mean,
With Survivalist.
Yes,
Victor,
there you go. Survivalist will make it work even better.
You can use it with you can also use it with Lance. That's another one. So these are the kind of human heroes you can use. Whereas the shadows, they do have shadow font, but you can kind of use it with some of theirs as well.
Well, cards like
you-
Rotham's Visage also that are a little more in the side pool where you can use it as a human warrior or a shadow warrior.
Lots of stuff. Looking forward to hearing what the general public think.
Agreed.
Yep.
For sure.
And our next card is, I think you're all going to recognize it right off the bat, the Abomination Factory. Abomination Factory is a 2-cost mage item artifact. It too has 3 durability and uses 1 to activate its effect, which is target ally in your hand is discarded. Target homunculus ally gains +1 base attack and +1 health. It's flavor text. Now, I want to take a second before I read the flavor text and explain something that some of you may notice, some of you may not. This flavor text is 2 lines and contains a reference. That's something that's never happened in Shadow Era before. One of the improvements to our card template recently allowed us to have a little more room on the cards, and it's something we are going to utilize in Shattered Fates to give a deeper, more cohesive flavor across the set. The first of these: not all creations are worthy of their creator's pride. And that was said by Izicus, which some of you may remember from a previous card.
Oh my god, Wand of Izicus?
It seems he may have something going on with building stuff. I'm not
Now
really
that's
sure.
cool. I have to say though, I don't think I've seen this before. Do I recognize this? Have I seen that art before?
Didn't
I don't think I've ever
Izicus turn an old salesman to buy one get one free into an ally once? As well?
I think he did actually. I think he might have done that. I think Izicus might have turned this factory into a living object at one point.
He probably would be the kind of guy to do that. Just factory, stand up and go kick something.
Oh, you can actually turn this into an ally.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
he has
a-
the power
that's a
to
good
do
point.
that.
Yes. I don't know if they're referring to the The card
Wandavicus on this,
Wandavicus.
Yes,
Yes, and its
Wandavicus
ability.
references abound.
Yes, its ability to animate items and make them very generic for allies.
Now,
Oh,
as
and
to
then
why
it's a-
someone whose ability is to turn inanimate objects into living weapons would be dealing with something like homunculus allies, I think a Tribe and Focus is going to be due in the very near future for that.
I think so too. Actually, I am a fan.
Great.
I need to see one.
Yes. As far as Abomination Factory goes from a design perspective, it's another artifact that allows you to use durability. So it's another way to kind of showcase that mechanic during the spoiler. But it's also one that allows you to build around in a homunculus deck where you can, later in games you can throw down a 3-cost or 4-cost or whatever it is homunculus ally, and then sack another ally that was 1 or 2 costs that you wasn't really going to do much anyways, to make the ally you have that much more fearsome, that much more of a threat.
I think there are plenty of interactions with this card. I have a really strong feeling that even before this stream is over, 1 or 2 members of our chat are going to catch some of the possible interactions and spat them out. And definitely, I think with this card you can see kind of the direction we're taking with Shattered Fates, that we're moving away from just one card does one thing, and we're getting a little more interaction out of the cards now. And I think that's something that a lot of people have been looking forward to for quite a while.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure. Combo play is fun. Doing like cool little synergies here and there that didn't exist before. It's interesting.
And it's kind of humorous. I'm going to kind of steal some of Lewis's thunder here. When you're designing cards, there are 2 types of synergies you can go for. There are what we call intentional synergies, which is like this one targets homunculus allies. Homunculus allies get bonuses, etc., etc. That's something that the card is obviously designed to do.
Yeah.
And then there are what are labeled accidental synergies, which are where a card has an unintended side effect. It's kind of fun as a designer to realize that those intentional synergies or those unintentional synergies are just as much put in on purpose, but they're a little more subtle, and that's what I think the players really enjoy seeing too.
Yeah, it's important to give the players a puzzle, something they have to solve with like proper deck building skills, because then you're putting that deck builder to the test, being like, hey, can you make the best possible of these cards? And they're like, oh, challenge accepted, and they go for it, and they do something you never thought they could.
There is a risk with the unintentional ones, and that's why we've got the PFG, who their task is to try and find the unintended things, tell us about them, and if they're broken,
they're the ones
them.
that say challenge accepted.
I think of all the requests we make of the PFG, I think break the set is the most important request we put on their table, and they do a fantastic job of giving us issues, and we're so proud to have them.
Well, absolutely. The PFG do lots of work, and there have been times where they have broken cards that we were particularly proud of for one reason or another, and we've had to adjust. They put a lot of work in, and they're a integral part of balancing the set.
And we've still got some open slots, so we're ramping up.
Do.
So
yes, we do. And
there's an advert on the forum for it.
If you want to be the next one to say challenge accepted, sign up.
Send a PM to Soothslayer. Let him know.
Yes.
If you like breaking stuff, if you like to break things, let him know.
Smash the cards. Let him know.
Well, we're not looking for Roddy Piper, but
I love Roddy Piper.
He's in already under an alt.
Like I think we have a couple of those, but people who are very very enthusiastic, test as much as possible and really can help us make the set better. Come on in. Where I'm still going through some applications. I have very respectable amount, and as I'm going through, I'm sending out some acceptance letters to people that are coming in as we go, and they will be closed at the appropriate time.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan indeed. So with that in mind, we have a few minutes here to get some viewer questions from those that are currently in the stream. If you guys wanted to toss out something really quick, we can see what we can do about getting a few questions asked for you here before we close up to put a gap between this and our live event coverage of the wild card. Now, while we wait for people to get those questions popped in, Trevor, is there any updates on the wild card you want to pass forward? How are they doing over there?
Sure, I'll just toss up the bracket here. Okay. Currently in the quarterfinals, we have Grey Mouser against EP Viz. And Asterix is in the quarterfinals. Doesn't have an opponent yet. Asterix is waiting for the winner of KAM Anson and KA Vact. And then quarterfinals, we got Joey Boy against Justicar. So the two of them are also putting on good shows. So we're getting to the point where everyone's kind of trickling into the quarterfinals. We have like 3 slots still waiting to fill up. Do you want some of the round 3 guys who are still playing as well? Names include the likes of Sisyphos and Bia Ser. I might have said that wrong. TC Snyder and 9299. I believe that is a KA member, but his forum name is 9299.
These are some high-level players.
These
well-known
are
players in here.
Well, these are the kinds of people who haven't had a chance to get into a tournament for whatever reason. They haven't managed to get a win off a tournament for whatever reason over the course of the past year, but they feel that they are qualified to be in our World Championship, and so they are going to sit down and they are going to get these events to get in. Bear in mind, this is the second to last chance. If you don't get an invite at the qualifier today, if you don't get a wild card invite, the only one left is the last chance qualifier at the end of the week, and I can tell you that's not an event you want to have to go through to get into the World Championships.
It is the last chance. It's called that for a reason. It happens at the absolute last minute before the World Championship itself takes place.
And it is entirely possible to spend, 6, 7, 8 hours in that tournament pushing through, grinding through all these other players to get your invite, get maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then you're at the World Championships the next day. That's just not, to me, that seems intense.
Oh, it is definitely intense, but hey, if you want to earn it, you gotta go through those trials and tribulations.
I think anyone that gets their invites off the wild card and last chance have definitely earned their right to sit at the table.
Grey Mouser got in last year by the
There you
wild card. He might be on it again today. I'm looking forward to the live stream. When's that?
Same-
Oh, that's
same
now, isn't
here.
it? No,
Yeah, the wild stream
stream
for that is going to
The
begin in
stream.
about, not the wild stream, the live stream for that is going to begin in about 30 minutes.
The wild stream.
So if no one has any other questions for us today in chat, we're going to close up, get a little bit of a break, get some things settled, and get to the live event coverage.
Yay.
Gotta love that momentary delay where we have to wait for them to all catch up.
Oh, to hear if you've got, yeah.
Delays are fantastic.
Hey, so what kind of coverage are we doing next week then for the World Championship Grand Finals?
We will be covering most sections of the actual World Championship. On Monday, Trevor will be announcing the official start times of all of those events. And so, yeah, we'll be covering it from almost bell to bell.
Bell to bell it is. This just in, Sisyphos has defeated Biasair, or Biasair, or...
Bias error.
Yes, a Biasair. We're gonna go with that. But Sisyphos won! Hooray, Sisyphos!
He's one of our top PFG members, I'd say, so props to
Yeah,
him.
puts him
Bit of
right
karma.
into the quarterfinals. Yes, he's one of our breaker types. He likes to break things.
It must be hard switching from using like 3 sets to using 2 sets, and like when you're trying to plan out what people are holding and trying to, not think about cards that don't exist yet on the live version.
That's
Like
true.
there's some
You're probably thinking like, if
frames
only I had these cards.
or even you're waiting for it to come up because you've got a version of that hero with that card in, and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to top deck that now. Oh, wait a minute, no, because I'm playing on the older set. So, yeah, props to him. Doing well. Good luck for the rest.
Props to him indeed.
See you soon.
Alrighty, we'll see you guys all shortly.
Bye.
Later.